Well, hello everyone. Today is Sunday, May the 17th, I think, or 16th, somewhere in there. 16th. There we go. I know what day it is, I swear. So today we are going to do some live stream writing sprints, whether you're editing or writing or reading or anything else that you are working on right now. Yes, feel free to join us. So I am going to welcome to the stage Miss Story Tyrant.
Hello.
Hello.
Good
How
morning.
are you doing?
Well, a little too much sun yesterday, but otherwise good.
Okay, I'm just going to add this so we got our little 5 minutes to let people join. Hello, Laura. Good day. Welcome. I know that looks like I'm flying. Okay. Anyways, yes, so I have so far this morning been working on redesigning my website. And of course, all of it is self-taught. So I'm having tons of fun.
Yes, the fun.
Well, this is where I got to. I picked a new theme. I got the picture for my header. I'm working on learning how to embed things. I learned how to embed the YouTube videos super easy.
Okay.
But my problem is embedding my podcast. Because there's different ways you can do it. And it's like there's a widget link and there's a URL link, but neither of the links is actually working. So, and then there's this whole other thing where it's like a WordPress add-in that you have to install and enable this specific password, and I don't know. So
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
I'm going to figure it out. I'm determined.
Good. You know that computers are both my best tool, my greatest tool, and my worst problem.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
They're nemesis.
Yes. Bless you. Shh. Leave the room if you have to sneeze. No. It's all good. Anyways, yes. So today I am going back to my Nerdalific, and every time I go back to this Nerdalific auto budget, I just keep telling myself, today's the last day I'm working on it. Today's the last day I'm working on it. Well, guess what? I'm going to say this again. Today is the last day I'm going to work on it before I send it to our editor. Crossing fingers. And I'm going to go back in and re-add all of the personable stuff and make some more modifications. What's that?
I can actually do my fingers on my right hand again. It's been over a month. So
that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's nice to have hands when you write.
Yeah. And hopefully I can type a little faster. Like every time I practice and I have all these exercises, the crawling up the wall and the bending. Look at that, eh? Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm so happy. So so I'm able to type better, and I'm nowhere near my 60 words a minute, but I probably just around 20, maybe 25 now. So
okay.
That's good. So this hand is much faster.
No, that is great. And Laura, you're working on editing today. How's your editing going? It's been a couple weeks, I think, since we've been on here. So yeah, let us know how you're doing with that. I didn't schedule this far enough in advance to really gather a crowd of people to join us, but I did it early this morning. So hopefully some people join us. I'm formatting today and doing a read through of some earlier chapters for submission. Nice. Formatting? Yes, that's something I've been learning about. Tyra knows. The struggle is real. The struggle is real.
Yeah, it is a real struggle.
There's just so many things. I think I'm going to make a checklist, because like I know it basically generally, okay, that the spacing, the indentation, the drop caps, the page numbers. Now, that is my biggest struggle, is the page numbers and not having them on certain pages, because Word, it's like different first page and then there's like different odd or even, but it's very difficult to get, 3 in a row specific pages or whatever without a page number on it. So that's my biggest challenge.
Well, I don't really work with Word. Oh, Better days, Zellers.
Good
Hey.
morning. Hey, welcome. Hey, your picture's crooked. What happened?
I kind of like it. I don't know.
Beautiful hair, by the way.
I think it grabs attention. But,
It does. It really makes you pay attention. It does. It does.
nice.
Yes. So we got a couple seconds here. A couple seconds, Tyra. A couple seconds, and we're going to be productive and we're going to get some word counts done. And I really think so. We've come up with this really great idea that our local writing group, we meet on Skype weekly, and we are now going to be doing regular check-ins ourselves and saying, hey, I wrote this many words, or hey, I updated my website, or hey, I did this today, just to keep us on track, on target. And then on the next Saturday meeting, we can go back and go through the checklist and say, hey, we've been productive. This is great. Or, hey, you didn't put anything on here. What have you been doing? Or, just kind of follow us to make sure we're being productive. What's that? Accountable. That's the word I'm looking for, but I couldn't find it, so I kept jabbering on. Thank you for saving me. All right. Are we ready for our first sprint? Let me get my banner up because sometimes I forget to put the banner up. Oops. What just happened? Uh-oh. My banners went away.
What?
I found it. Okay. Technically declined today. I don't think that's a real way of saying it. But anyways, all right, let's go.
Challenge.
What's that?
You're challenged today.
I'm technically challenged today. Yes, not always, but it's just the way I took it. Oh, I gotcha.
I didn't know you could do that. That's cool.
No, Tyra and I are both writers, and we're writing today. You're writing today, aren't you? Or are you editing, Tyra?
Oh, no, I'm writing today. Yeah,
you're writing today.
Yeah, I do editing, but I'm not an editor. I don't do editing for other people anymore. I used to years ago, just do general. What do you call it?
Peer editing.
Yeah, and I also did where you'd hand me a book and I'd say, okay, you have 5 plot holes. You have this 3 discontinuity errors. That's the kind of stuff I would look at and find. I don't do line edits. I would catch obvious mistakes when it comes to words and stuff, but I rarely, I'm not a line editor, and Amanda's both. So I would actually do the big picture. Like a fella sent me his book, and I pointed out that he had killed this young man in the street. It was the second murder, and then he had just forgotten it. And then I pointed out that then you have the girl at the bar, and it goes nowhere. It comes out of nowhere, goes nowhere. And I said, the young man on the street, you either keep the clue about his mother and then connect it so that woman becomes his mother, or you remove him and make this woman, who is an important character in the murder, you make her connected to one of the other victims. And I said, this is for the girl in the bar. Just get rid of her. She doesn't do anything. And she confuses things, actually. So I want her to confuse things. I said, well, then you have to have her do more.
Right. So you catch like the story, you catch the storyline or plot issues that don't make any sense.
Yeah, I do it. Is there a name for that? I can't remember what it's called right now. It's editing.
I think I'm hearing myself on reverb. Do you have your volume very loud?
No.
Maybe it's just the microphone near the speaker or something. I don't know.
This one's off. This one is not happy.
Developmental editor.
Thank you. Developmental editor. Yes, that's what it is.
Okay, let's get started.
All right.
Let's get started. Okay, on your marks, get set, go. All right, writing sprint number 1 is complete. Let's go for our 5-minute break timer. And we've had a couple people pop in. So Easy Graphics popped in to say hello. Hello, if you're still with us, thank you for popping in. And good morning, Chandra. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. What are you working on today? I'm working on editing my auto budget ebook, and hopefully I can get this ready today because, well, it's been a long time coming. How are you doing, Tyra? Oh, you're still muted, my friend.
110 words.
110. Awesome. That's pretty good. So
Right.
how is the formatting going, Laura? That can be a lot of work, sometimes frustrating, depending on, what you need to get done for the formatting aspect of it. And Better Days, what are you working on today? So I guess I can move to the next banner so we can get ready for our second sprint. Whoops, second sprint. We'll just do that a couple times. Yeah, I found actually one thing in my auto budget that I missed doing. I'm like, if you're using online banking, if you're using physical bank statements, skip this paragraph. And then I don't come back to that whole physical bank statement thing. I just keep going on and on about using online banking to review your history. And I'm just like, oh crap, I got to go in and add like an entire paragraph about what you do with your physical bank statements.
It's a clear plan, though. Clear plan.
Yes, I have to go through this again. But at least now I feel like I'm more focused on it today. So this is good.
Good.
Not bad. This is good. This is good. No complaints are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to listen.
Yes.
We will. What's the term? I write lean, right? And I'm trying to put in more descriptive things and get my head back in the story of who the characters are. And yeah, so that is something important, is for me to not constantly try to tighten up my writing.
Mm-hmm.
I write primarily for print markets and ebook markets. Well, okay, no, I'm not saying that right. I write primarily for print markets where I worry a lot about story size, but I'm telling myself, don't worry about it. Just write the story.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same, like, the Red Crime Thriller series. It is all very light and there's not a ton of description, but I kind of wanted that. I think that was intentional. I'm working on a nonfiction book about my life.
Cool.
That is wonderful. I also have that going as well in the background. And it's kind of on pause right now because I need to get through my projects right now, and like the Nerdalific auto budget and the vendor sale. So I had printed up all these booklets. I did learned how to do formatting for the most part, doing the cover design, printed and packaged everything. And then the vendor show was canceled because of the pandemic restrictions.
Yeah.
But this morning I applied for an outdoor vendor market in the same area, and it is not canceled.
Okay, because that's what I thought I was applying for, was an outdoor vendor market. That's why when you said you were indoors, I was like, but it's outside.
Yeah, no, there's a new one now, and it goes through June, July, August, and September, and it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You could pick whatever days. So I've submitted for about 4 or 5 dates that I spread them out like 2 to 3 weeks apart, because for me, I'm printing them myself, so I want to have time to replenish my stock. But I mean, if I sell out 100% on the first one, which I really doubt, then I might just go through and get a print run, because if it's too much, it's too much. I have a sentence that keeps coming up as being too long in Grammarly, but I like it. I'm trying to reword it, but it's not working. Well, why don't you, if you're comfortable with it, post it here, and we'll see if we can make any suggestions.
And there may be nothing wrong with it. It may just be that.
Right. Yeah, and I did this before. I used Pro Writing Aid, and I followed all of their suggestions 100% to a T, and then I sent it for peer editing, and I was told, Tyra's laughing, I was told, yeah, pro writing aid wasn't right. Or it was kind of like I overused it.
Yeah.
So even things like Grammarly, just remember that it is a suggestion. It's going to catch things and suggest things for you to review, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's right. So it's all programming. It's not a person.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, I'm going to get the next timer ready. And worst case, if you don't have the sentence in yet, we can always talk about it on our next break.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. So that gives everybody else some time to keep going. All right. Are you ready for the second sprint? Ready and go. Hello. All right, our timer is done. Let's put back on our 5-minute timer. Oh. No. Now it's on. All right, let's take a look at the chat here. How did everybody do? Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Happy belated birthday. Oh my goodness. Happy belated birthday. I hope you got something special or got to do something special in the chaos of this world right now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at Laura's sentence. Ever since that morning when I woke up with a killer hangover and memories of some stranger describing how he would bend me. I can't say that out loud now. These states, I decided I had to tell them everything. Let's go back to the beginning. So what do you think, Tyra?
Okay, so by having a sentence this long, it's going to speed up the reader until they hit that comma. Ever since, okay. 50 states. What's the next part? I decided I had to tell them everything. All right. So your reader is speeding up because you have no breaks. Ever since that morning when I woke up with a killer hangover and memories of some stranger describing how he would bend me over a blank and show me all 50 states, I decided I had to tell them everything. I would almost put an ellipses instead of the comma because the comma is a pause, whereas ellipses is a longer pause. Not as long as a period, obviously, or it actually can be longer than a period, an ellipses. Think of it as a comma as a quick breath, and the ellipses as a pause breath, or even two breaths. So how much of a dramatic pause do you want between those? Personally, this is a very emotional, heavy sentence. I would have you keep it, especially the other sentences are shorter, because again, you're going to read it faster to that comma, but I don't think the comma is what you need there. I think you need an ellipses for the two breaths, or you need, yeah.
I have another suggestion too. I mean, Tyra's probably more experienced to help with this. You could split it into two by going, ever since that morning when I woke up with a killer hangover, I decided to tell them everything. The memories of some strangers describing how he would, and then go on from there. And that way you can still look back on the memories without splitting up that every morning that I woke up with a killer hangover. Do you know what I mean? It kind of pulls the initial thought and the end thought together and then kind of explain why. I don't know if that helps. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. If you want to split it, that would be a logical split, actually. If you want to keep it for the emotional kick, then I would not have that comma. The comma is the problem. It's too small a break. It's too short.
Right, because the second section is short compared to the first section being long.
Yeah, and a comma doesn't have the emotional. I'm assuming this sentence needs to have or is supposed to have a strong emotional punch. This is not a thing you describe happily. This is
yeah. I think I would probably split it that way. I mean, I know what you're saying too, and you're right, that the smaller sentence being too small compared to the second section of it is small. But I think the biggest part is, ever since that morning, I decided I had to tell them everything. So if you just add in that, ever since that morning when I woke up with a killer hangover, I decided to tell them everything.
Yeah.
And then explain the memories of some strangers describing how he would, and then, yeah, that last section together. But I mean, both would probably work. It's just
the emotional hit of the second part isn't as strong as the emotional hit of the first part, the part after the comma. It doesn't carry. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the punch. If I had to tell them everything, I had to tell them everything because of that morning I woke up with.
Yeah, that's true. That would sound good too.
Yeah, I need to know.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay. I had to tell them everything ever since that morning when I woke up with the killer hangover. The memories of some stranger describing how he would. Yeah, I think that's.
Again, it depends on the emotional weight you need to give the sentence. I have had people remove. Hi.
Hi, sorry. You can keep talking.
Oh, we were working. I was working with a gentleman, and he was trying to increase the emotional tension, and he had a lot of short, good packs. I think in his case, we used the analogy of a punching of a being in a punching ring, and he had a lot of really short, hard hitting jab sentences. And I said, "Yeah, you do. You have a lot of these wonderful little short sentences." But you don't have a big roundhouse. You don't have a nice big hit, you know? So we took two of the sentences and we removed the commas and made them one sentence, which he said, well, that's not grammarly correct. I said, no, it isn't. But I want you to read it out loud. And so he read it out loud and he realized he would speed up during that second part because the two sentences, you instinctively start to read faster and it ups your emotion, but there must be a payoff, right? You can't do it with... if you're going to play that way, you're going to pull on the reader's emotional strings that way. It needs to have a payoff. It can't be a little thing like, I fought with the police officer over the parking ticket and I won. No, I was fighting with the police officer with the parking ticket when the man came out of the store and shot my husband. That is a much bigger punch.
That's a huge impact.
Yeah. Then, my husband was shot while I sit on the street arguing with a police officer over a parking ticket. Well, there's not much emotional hit in that. It's a statement of events.
Right. That's a good point because the emotional should be at the end of the sentence. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and you want a bigger punch. You want to build to it, or you want to have light, whack. It's one of the two. Because you got.
So, Laura, does that help you, Laura? Like all of the thoughts that we've had. Does anybody else have any comments to add to help Laura out? Let's just. Sorry, I lost my mouse cursor. Okay, here we go. The night that my MC is talking about her first time in an adult chat room. She loved that night and wants to talk about it with her friends.
Okay.
Gotcha. A little bit more context to what they're talking about and what it is that she's telling them about.
Yeah, where do you want to put the emotional hit then? Where and how do you want to lift it up? You want to make it more positive? And do you want to make the positive a surprise for the reader? Or do you want to make the positive, she's really, really positive and she says why she's positive? Do you want there to be surprised there? Do you want there not to be a surprise? Like, how do you want to, what is the emotional impact you want on the reader? That is why I don't talking.
Yeah, it was just a spelling thing. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, talking.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. I'm looking. When you're editing a piece, you really have to know the intent. Even when you're going back and you're re-editing your own work, I don't care who you are.
Sorry, I'm just putting up the same comment so people can read it while you're.
Okay, you need to sit back and say, what is the purpose of this scene? What is the emotional thing? Because don't forget, we're writing to have an emotional response in the reader. So you have to, when you're doing your editing, you have to evaluate your scenes. Especially if something you feel isn't working or it isn't working enough. Is it not carrying enough weight? Is not moving the plot forward enough? A lot of times you cut stuff out because it's not really doing anything. It's just bridging. It's just giving context, but it's giving context that's already there usually. So you remove that stuff. But if you have a scene and you're saying to yourself, is this working? You have to determine what is it you want the reader to feel? What was the emotional impact? What is the goal, the emotional goal of the scene? Right? Both in the context of the larger work, but actually, first and foremost, in the context of that scene, and then in the larger work. And if you're not clear, then you're going to have trouble editing.
Right. Well, thanks, Tyra.
Sorry for nattering.
Oh, no, that's okay. Tyra has a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and she is awesome to work with.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Okay, so hopefully that helped, Laura. But let's get back to our productivity time and get some more stuff done. Yes, of course, you're welcome. Anytime. This is fun. I like these kind of conversations because everybody else watching can also learn something from it. It's good practice for everybody. Yes, so if anybody else has any suggestions as to how Laura can reword her sentence or make it stronger, feel free to leave comments below. And we will get going. This will be the last sprint for today. But we'll have a quick chat again after the sprint, so don't go away. All right. Ready, set, go. All right, our writing sprint is complete. Yes. So, how did everybody do on that last sprint? Do we want close? Do we want far? Do we want close or do we want far? Just playing. Okay. Anyways, I think you're still on mute, just so that you know. So that's okay. Yeah, how'd everybody do? I managed to hit the send button. I finished writing the summary at the end of my Nerdalific auto budget, and I sent it to Amanda for editing. So, crossing fingers. And Laura has put in a couple more rewritten sentences. So I will let you read it on the screen.
You can't have a period there. You haven't finished explaining what's going on.
Yeah. I think, yeah, because you're missing something, because ever since that morning, and then what, ever since that morning?
Yeah, ever since. What was ever since that morning?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be my thought, too. So is the encounter that you're talking about, was it virtual in the chat room, or was it actually in person? If that makes sense. No problem.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the worst part when I'm reading a scene and I've rewritten a couple times and edited a couple times, and then I have someone else read it because I haven't read it out loud, which is when it happens to me. And the person reads it and says, "But what happened here?" I went, "What do you mean what happened?" Obviously oh, wait, that's out. I took it out sometime. I forgot to put it back in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I know what you mean for sure.
I did 335 words today.
Woohoo! That's awesome.
Yep.
You're getting it done. It was all online. Okay.
Cool.
See, when you say memory filled with my first encounter, see, yeah, it's hard to say, because if you're reading it, then you'll know when you're reading that, like the rest of the story, you'll know that it's virtual. Just looking at this on its own, I wouldn't know that you're talking about a virtual encounter.
Yeah. But also, I'm waiting for the rest of it. Ever since that morning. So ever since that morning when my head throbbed with a killer hangover.
Not all the way.
Right.
With kids.
Counter. Sorry. I knew I had to have more. Or I knew I wanted more. Ever since that morning. Think of it, remove the middle part. Ever since that morning. What is the rest of that thought? So ever since that morning, I knew I wanted more. Then you put I knew I wanted more in the bottom. You do another comma. Or you could even do, what do you call that thing? But you can't because it's a continuing thought. Okay. It was two separate ideas.
I still think I like the original that you had. This is still my suggestion. Don't listen to me if you don't like it.
Hey, that's the movement. Yeah.
Okay. You can keep talking. I'm just typing.
I have to get a haircut. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is like... Curtis has offered me to use his razor thing. I said, yeah, I don't want a buzz cut, sweetie. Oh. Sorry.
My goodness, major typos here. Keep going.
Well, one of the things when you're cutting up a sentence, because you're trying to impart a lot of information, a lot of emotion, you can actually cut down the middle sentence more, making it its own complete thought, and you can use semicolons. So, because that works too. And I personally have no problems with those. See, yeah, there we go.
Just a thought, because they're both have some emotional impact on their own, but they're still connected enough. Or yeah, it's like, okay, you can see, that the memories of some stranger describing, and then how did that make that character feel? Like, because that could be exciting or haunting or terrifying or thrilling, or so why does she feel that emotional impact of why she wants to share this? I think that would be good to add. Just a thought again.
Yes.
Okay, so what are your plans for the rest of the day? Are you guys going to keep on working away? Are you going to keep working?
I want 200 more words because I want to have 500 words today. That's my goal for today, 500 words.
Yeah.
And then I have to get some hot peppers, and I have to turn heaters off, and I have to upplant a few things. I have to fix a picture frame. I have to sweep. I have to vacuum.
Wow.
And laundry. I have laundry.
Sounds like a busy day.
It's a typical day for the Sunday.
I think I got my main writing goal done, but I'm working on my ebook cover. Excuse me, my Nerdalific auto budget cover for the ebook. But I also have to record my podcast episode. I have completely planned it out, so I just have to sit down and record it because it comes out Tuesday morning. And then I would still like to try to figure out how to get my podcast link into my website so that I have it automatically updating, because you can install like a player right onto your website. So I want to learn how to do that. But otherwise, same thing: housework, cleaning, laundry.
Sorry, cats.
Oh, that's okay. Nothing like the cat's ass coming on the screen.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Hi, Bruce. Hi, Bruce. What are you doing?
Hi, Bruce. You're kitty. Okay, anyways. Right, so I think we should probably end it there. I feel like we've all gotten something accomplished today. It was very productive. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. And I'm going to try to stick to a bi-weekly system for this. So I have a break in between. But otherwise, depending on how the health condition is, there might be the occasional one that I miss. So I'm sorry that it's not, firm for every Sunday, but you got to do what you got to do. So we'll see you again in approximately 2 weeks.
Okie doke.
Sounds good?
Yes.
So have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, night, or whatever, and keep writing.
Remember, story comes first.
Goodbye. Goodbye, kitty. You're welcome. And you're welcome. Goodbye.